This is me speaking to you, Mel. Could we please get a Ninja's Pepe? If they win. Map or... Oh, only if they win. Not even like map.
Oh,
you on the whole
okay.
thing. We could do map? Okay, okay. So if they win a map, the Pepe comes around. Because we like to share here. But again, thank you for your patience, guys. We didn't, we don't want to hurry players or anything. We just want to get this one going as soon as. And we're actually not that far behind schedule, so that's actually pretty going. Your initial thoughts, Hypok, well, how does this matchup kind of like line up to you in your head here?
I think it's fair to say NIP have kind of come from strength to strength. They've stumbled a couple of times, but this for me has been one of the best adjustments. With Akukos stepping into this roster and obviously Rhyme readjusting back onto the duel list, NIP have looked really good. Like I said, stumbled a few times on a few teams. I will hold that thought for a second, because I don't know if the Liquid are about to actually just full-on execute into B. Yeah, Scream going to hop on in. Kukos backed up all the way, but look at that, the dash from Jampy. Actually, tries to close out. Chihuahua will find two. Scream will find two. And the third, look at that.
And now a 1v2. Now, I want to say JD is nuts, and you're going to see as to why. That's the first, but it does take him a little low. Now, HP is, I guess, a little worse for Soulcast. Yeah, 4 HP to play with. Get a little anxious when I hear a dart. Even just being toyed with at this point, I'm like, no, it's fine. Now, JD, the spike is in the open. He doesn't know quite where Soulcast is. This is all about timing. He's trying to clear this through. He's lost that mental track of where he could be. There's been too much time passed since spotted. Now, Soulcast, they've kind of done ring-a-ring rosies. They don't quite know where they are. Now, the information hasn't been noted either. Soulcast! Oh! Nasty! Nasty work from Soulcast.
Just imagine, actually sent it out, not getting any information off that flash, so the readjustment there, just catching line of sight at the last second. But a really nice execution, I'm not gonna lie, onto B site. Isolating a Kukos all the way into the back, and you could see just straight away Jampy ready to dash on. Scream ready to back him up as well. And actually Scream finding 3 kills in that one's gonna result in him. Okay, he was considering it. Yeah, I can see him toying with the idea of the Phantom there in round 2.
High flash for Soulcast allows for that nice swing over towards C long. The Rainer and Scream, man. We talk about self-sufficient agents, that's why we like the Phoenix, and this is just the pinnacle of that. But we haven't got to see much of NIP, and they also one of the scariest teams, I think, with the potential of this lineup. This should be a walkthrough round. Yampy's making it look as such. Chihuahua is one of those players, right? He's meant to be like a safe pair of hands, but this guy is style, right? He's got that flash to him. So keep your eyes on him. Maybe not now, maybe not in the next couple, but when he gets that gun going, when he's in those positions, watch what he can do, and watch what apparently Akukos can do, because now they've kind of swatted them away from at least this sight hit. Now, JD's still lingering in the back, trying to keep track of anyone trying to slip through by a window. So they're going to funnel them through. Now, Omen's getting lots of space for them. That's really good work, actually, just to say, okay, I've got you onto CT, don't worry. Yampy's found one, though, but there was a threat there, and you saw Akukos finding a little bit of room to work.
And we saw it a couple of times on the last map. Link actually, the whole time that pressure was coming through Garage and on C site, just lurking. And as soon as he finds that space in A Link, you can see Liquid readjust to come back over towards A site. But pretty clean nonetheless. And now actually only 2 Spectres carried through. Jampy on the Bulldog, Scream with a Phantom, Soulcast on that Vandal. And actually, Yampy, Scream, and Soulcast really good ult progression already, all just one away, and those are only 6 orbs for those ultimates. You get them on nice and early. It's a good opportunity to convert this round, Lauren.
I've never seen NIP in chat looking so like adamant. They're like, look, we're coming for the Pepe. All right, let's go. It was a dangerous round before, but already the cross towards sight, not the main focus of it. Kree are going to be forced off the angle with the flashes. And there's the face, double face as well. They took no chances on that. You saw both of them looking for this. Akukos does get one, but look at this burst on the site. It's perfect. They won every fight they had to, and in great form as well. Now JD looking for a way back through. Link on the lurk, though. His lurks have been good. That and Scream, but Scream's more important for that site execution for now. And timing's a factor. Rhyme and JD still looking for their way into this. No one offering a chance, though. JD going to try and find that little bit of a fact-finding mission, see where they're going for that post-plant. Even not seeing them gives at least a little bit of an idea, but here comes Link on that lurk. This could be so well-timed. They have no idea that just a second away is the man just around the corner. He's going to hear the steps. He can hunt this if he wants to. Their rifle's being saved. The call
You're
can be
looking at him
made.
straight through B.
Yep, it's already pinged out. They know what they're going for. Link should be able to herd around them. And he's way ahead of where they expect. So he knows that one's gone heaven. And there could be one in this corner. He doesn't 100% know where Rhyme is.
Oh, he just went
Checks
down.
it. Ooh, he had to look for it. NIP desperate to keep these rifles now.
Yeah, both positions now good up. Soulcast might actually catch a glimpse of JD's head, but no damage coming through Yampy. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure how I feel about it unless you find both. I'll just say
Yeah,
at
do
that
that.
point when you're down to
Give it
3,
to him.
but he will close it out, and that removes both weapons from the hands of NIP. Now, Seeker's online, and actually on, considering the situation we're talking about coming into that round for Liquid, actually NIP, one ultimate available, JD one off the Hunter's Fury, Chihuahua one away from the Neural Theft.
Yeah.
But that's, again, a clean bonus round there with 3 surviving and carrying those weapons across, considering we only had the 2 Spectres coming in. The rest of it was rifles, Lauren.
And I do want to talk about something, as this is going to be a kind of bit of a mix between a Force Spy and, you know, little bits and pieces, some upgraded weapons, but not much. The last time we saw the likes of Akukos, aka Existence, and Scream really playing Counter-Strike was together. And there's something quite poetic about them now facing off against each other on either side. It was always kind of the brain and the brawn when you looked at them in Counter-Strike teams. I think the last team they were ever on was Gamer Legion. The last official game Existence ever played was with Scream. And I think it was a rough OT loss to Optic at the time. Korea, though, with a great start there with the Scout, controlling the angle. That's a big bit of space kept safe. They still need to stick the landing towards the site on this one. NIP do have bodies on towards the site itself. JD's there. I think you've got a Kukos towards the site. Of course, that being Existence. And here's the flashes coming through. And Liquid not finding an easy route here. Seeker's invested as well, Hyperbot.
Yeah, that's actually going to be Liquid hitting the brakes on this. They're going to back away to try and deal with the Seekers, anticipating the push coming out as well. Soulcast going to lead the charge here with Link over towards Garage, and actually Seaside and Garage wide open for the taking right now. Yeah, with almost no resistance on the side of NIP. Korea now looking to maybe catch an angle. To see how disciplined Liquid are. They are going to get the spike down pretty clean. Get themselves in a 4v5 in this post plant.
Need that instigator. Rhyme trying to find it. Ooh, that'll do it. That's a really good start. Soulcast now gone. Link soon to follow. Rhyme with the perfect play back in, and Cryptic's called upon. That's 1, that's 2, a 3rd, yes! And now we need to... Oh my word, Cryptic's needs to clutch this out completely! Oh. That could have been everything, but for NIP, it's all they could have asked for. They were working with Sheriffs, a Scout, nothing much at all, and they still make it work.
On for the ace. I mean, we talked about Cryptics being a game changer at times for Liquid, and right there, on for the ace is that last man standing. Unfortunately, I mean, yeah, benefit of hindsight, had the time to reload, but switches to the classic instead, not able to close it out. Liquid will be able to buy back into this, though. A couple of members, 3 members above 1,000 credits still, but Soulcast and Scream struggling a little bit. Bladestorm online, lockdown available as well. See what Liquid decide here. Once again, just looking for that early peak on C. And actually, once again, look how heavily NIP lean away from C as soon as contact's taken in mid.
We do have 2 playing toward B. Flash is good. Information will be seen on this. We've got a bit of a commitment from the Rays, of course, from NIP.
Here.
Kukos sitting on the other side. Flash again. Prime wants to be done with that. Good work towards Yampy. That's one found. Little underhand to try and control that doorway. Use of the satchels to try and get above. Gonna be just fine for now. But they have dealt with that initial pressure coming out from Liquid, and there's a turn of attention towards A, or at least the kind of show of noise towards sewers. You can see the lurks being caught. Soulcast unable to find anything. And there you go. Killjoy ult invested as well.
And actually, JD straight away going to shut it down with the Hunter's Fury, so allows them to get set up. And with the 3rd, we'll actually find a tag onto Cryptic. I'm not sure if anybody else took some damage there, but Liquid down to 3. NIP still 5 strong here. Looking to break back on this retake.
Nice timing on the smoke there, just kind of segmenting them away from being able to follow that Aldrone. Korea struggling to break through here cleanly. You can see it's Link in the corner and Cryptic's on the side. You do have Scream there with the Leer. Now this is going to be the starting point. Lovely work from Link, just perfectly tracking him, tracing him through the air. And Akukos called upon again in a 1v2. Facing onto the likes of Scream. Brothers in arm once, and actually Akukos wins that out. Incredible work from him to pull that through. I always feel that Scream's got more than a fair shout. The value of 2 sometimes in those clutches. But no, it will be Akukos. And we've seen these series in the past, right, Hypok, where Kukos has actually been such a key element, fragging-wise as well for NIP.
On that support
it's
agent.
wild. Yeah.
I mean, we've seen him really stamp his name in games where we've seen him obviously flex onto that breach more recently, but I'll be honest with you, we've seen Sky creep in on a couple of other maps. I mean, actually Liquid, one of the ones that you could argue was one of the first to make it across a couple of different maps, one of their main picks, and Soulcast has looked really good in that role as well. But weird purchase here from Liquid, just
Get out of my way.
a Guardian and a couple of pistols, it looks like, but a much slower approach at the start of this round.
There.
Blade Storm popped off the rip. It's actually Yampi outside garage. Now, whether or not he's gonna, no, he's not. He's actually gonna explore back over towards mid here. And Liquid stacked up once again for this B hit. Oh,
There he is, waiting in the back lines. Got the support from Chihuahua as well to do the damage on the cross through. No freebies found this time for Liquid. No one presenting an easy pick, potentially. Scream.
Last player standing.
Oh, I went back in for it. Chihuahua says, no. I don't think found room on the flank, but there's no one there to really be exploited by it instantly. You can see already JD, Rhyme, they're all knowing that, you know, this is his type of play. This is his MO. Watching that. And I like the kind of instant recognition of, okay, Link's alive. Where's he going to be? Right, flank. Let's keep that in instant watch, especially in that timing in that scenario. So there's the fight right back in from NIP. So this has turned this one right back around. Now, we've got to look at Liquid's attack. This was a big component of something that we weren't 100% sure of yet. We wanted to see more of. It was something that left a little bit of a question mark by. Initially, very good. We saw it looking quite diligent as well in the previous series. It's just, can they now replicate that against someone who I'd say is very tactically sound, for one, and two, has a lot of firepower. I think NIP still have a very good composition of potential players. Same with Liquid as well. Like, these are very similarly well-compromised teams in that regard. They have brilliant composition with players and possibility. I'd say NIP do get the upper hand when it comes to the mental fortitude when you have someone like a Kukos. But yeah, I'd say brawn-wise, you'd have your bets put on Scream. So they both have these kind of winning factors. So I love how close this game could potentially be.
NIP leaning heavily away from A. Let's look at that. Actually, yeah, they have the Cosmic Divide available, but Liquid actually going to find that gap and absolutely make use of it. JD now going to readjust for a shock dart. Plant away from default here, so decision from Liquid to nullify that threat, and actually a full-on 5v5 here in the post plant. Nobody on the flank though, so everybody going to be coming from heaven and defensive spawn.
Okay, Seeker's out. Divide still there. You can see the line of which is drawn in the battlefield, and NIP on this retake are flawless thus far. Cryptic's the only one to really find any sort of strike back. At this point, this has just been stunning work from NIP. Composure is an all-time hype. And previous to this game, I didn't really talk about, tactical timeouts and anything of the such. It didn't really spring to mind in that regard to me, because some of them are just playing to their game tune rather than playing to maybe what they need to do to adapt as much as these two teams can. So I'd say tactical timeout could be called soonish for Liquid if they want to get a grip at least on this half. Just so they can maybe have a little chat through how they want to approach this now against NIP. They can still get the buy here. They're still just fine. And maybe they just feel they have, a couple more looks to try, which is absolutely reasonable and pretty fair. I think at one point, though, you want to get a grip on the game mentally and don't want to let that slip too far.
Blocking sight.
There's no tactical timeouts? Okay, well, they can just fake a technical like they normally do. Like every other team does. Oh, my keyboard's just run away.
I can't believe my mouse has just run out of batteries. That's crazy.
Be right back, guys. No, I'm kidding. But if that's the case, then okay, on an eco round, you pull the classic. You just sit and spawn with pistols and chat it through. I mean, at this point, you might need to just take a second or two to have those considerations as to how you want to approach this, because at the moment they're not finding much entryway and they're starting to get the aggression coming out, which is tricky. Now, luckily for Liquid, they did trade effectively on that. A 2-for-1's not bad. A TP comes out.
JD.
He made it, but JD's heard that.
One enemy
Link
remaining.
wins that fight with a bulldog?
Fair play. Jampy actually going to find another as well on the back of that. And Kukos, in a wild turn of events, the last man standing for an IP. Link going to be the one to plant the spike here. This lurk coming through. Scream actually going to find him as soon as he hops up for that peak. And Liquid will tie things up. And yeah, I'm not entirely... JD looked as if he had the perfect read there, was ready to peek on. But Link anticipating the possibility that JD wasn't playing too far away from sight.
Scream just warming up.
It's right time. Actually, I mean, I know it's been a big topic in chat, but I mean, last game, I'm not saying it was a bad game. It was a slow game by Scream standards, right?
Yeah.
Really, we're looking towards him to be that difference maker on Liquid's attack. With this composition change now with Yampy part of the roster. But I gotta say, it's good to see him back on Reyna. Even if it's just the name next to the agent.
Yeah, it does super... Oh, there it is. You don't question the man, chat. Never question what he can do. Rhyme's gone for it and he found him. And great work from Rhyme to shut that down instantly. I'd say a worthwhile investment of the ult at this point. Does he get out in time? Yeah, he does. Scot-free as well. Didn't take too much from it. Now, Soulcast had progressed up through sewer, but didn't get much for it. Now, I want to see this mid play from Kriya. This could be great. Definitely hearing the steps of the fullback. So the call can be made to the teammate, but look at the counter flank as well from the Jet. Straight through, so you've got both sides now trying to pull this one off. This is going to be the game-changing point, because look, half of this is going to be now locked down. Yampy can be such a problem. This is the kind of counter flank. This is so perfectly played. If he can just live now, he's done his job. He has thinned the herd.
We'll get away with that now. Kriya and Akukos have to re-aggress back through. Kriya down to 26 HP. I'm going to say whether or not he has a heal there. And actually, the lockdown going to get invested by Cryptix. To run things down. Look at it. They're actually keen to come in and challenge that. Now Akukos has to reconsider it after Kriya falls. Link ready and waiting. Akukos creeping with the knife out. Not ready for that at all. And Liquid will close things out and pull a one-round lead over NIP.
At this point, I've got to say, I love both sides being able to pull off that kind of like ratty flank on each other.
Yeah.
It's so good. The impact of it was massive, I'd say, more so for Yampy being able to catch that rotation as they came back around towards that C site. But yeah, this was really, really well done for both of them to try and find that space. And if we get a good series from Yampy, I'm happy with that. A couple of ults here for Liquid as well. These could be quite big instigators too. Jet's ult and Reyna's both become available now.
NIP looking to aggress down C long with that flash. Rhyme. Let's see. Scream doing an awful lot of damage to both players there. Really unlucky not to catch one of those kills. Wow. Doesn't spot Yampy. Can't readjust for the second though. Rhyme will trade it out.
The damage on some of these players though. Look at Raze. Look at how low the HP is. The heal does come out, so they should be back up on their feet. Sky is just like mad healing right now. Kukos doing the best he can to get his teammates back on point. Liquid with a quick rotation towards A. There is going to be a player on the other side, that being Kriya. Gonna go ahead of this? Yeah, not bad. Okay, a little bit of a drive-by. Couldn't adjust well enough on Scream, who at least keeps this one in an even affair, 3v3. But bear in mind that Akukos was low. You can see the denial attempt on the plant. Jonas, are you watching?
And this time around, noting that it wasn't a default plant. Right, I'm actually going to find Soulcast spamming over towards defensive spawn. Scream will pop the Empress in response to that. JD will find the first. Now it's all on Scream in a 1v3. A couple of players still low HP. He's down to 14 himself now, and JD will land the killing blow. IP will stick the defuse here. A back and forth round. But once again, Liquid create this pressure over towards C and Garage, Lauren, and they're able to immediately identify the timing. Yes, Kriya dips his toes just before Liquid are able to get set up, but there's nobody else there to back that up. The Liquid once again find themselves A site seemingly for free, right? It's a 1-for-1 trade.
I mean, the the fact that NIP were able to stabilize after so much damage was done to them as well. I guess the bonus of having a Sky in there, but when Sky was one of them who received as much damage as they did, it's kind of brutal. But so we are back underway
out
with
of
this.
my
Yampy
way.
back on that op as well. I'm hearing the ult come out, so see what he does with this. They're not, I mean, if you hear that, you're not going to be wide peeking down, but Korea's going to be maybe called to question. We saw a lot of these hits from Liquid in the last couple of games. Kind of straight up C long, that kind of explosive play when they had the Phoenix. I don't know if you can quite do the same with Reyna.
No, agreed. So, actually, I think Liquid considering doing the same thing that I was just talking about in the previous round, but leaving a couple of members over in the side. Yampy actually going to find Korea. That looked on the minimap as if it was a jump spot behind default on C. Seeker's invested as well elsewhere, but no real tangible information gathered off that. Rhyme now creeping will find Soulcast, and that's spiked down, so expect them to try and stick this, but Scream will respond.
Okay, do they try and quicken the pace or do they hit the brakes? It's the 50-50, and look at the jet progress coming in for Yampy as well, taking over C control. And yeah, with all that utility thrown towards A, and the quick retreat is going to be down towards Akukos to try and catch us in middle. Can't do it. Yampy's already found Chihuahua, and now Akukos is left feeling like he's in no man's land. Already going to be marked down by Yampy, watching towards Garage as well in case he tried to play back through that way. And JD, yeah, you can send in the Aldrome, but oh, the timing, does he get done on it? I don't know if you expect Yampy to be in connected here. This is straight up like CNED style play. I literally have seen CNED do that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like CNED shotgun operator play. Just sat crouched inside that smoke. JD and Akukos got to be considering the safe here. And I'll be honest, with these rotations, Liquid almost running rings around NIP. They're able to create these holes and exploit it time and time again. And it's not even as if there's a big gunfight that comes on the back of it. It's kind of a, like I said, a 1-for-1, or, you know, they'll find a first blood and they're able to come in, and NIP not really able to do anything about it.
Just getting a good game between these two, though. I'm happy to see nice close scoreline on the half. Have to see how NIP look on their attack as well. Quite like the fact that they do have that Sky in the mix. You're still quite explosive in that. Always got Astra for the smokes. Yeah, pretty well rounded. And Rhyme, if we get a series from Rhyme as well, that would make me so happy. If Rhyme has, you know, one of those, like him being 12-8 right now is really good, but when Rhyme gets going, whew, as the kids say, sheesh. Is that good?
Did you?
Is that good?
Okay, you did.
When you're like down with the kids. Mel says that was fantastic. Nice. I've got the Zoomer's approval. She really enjoyed what I said. That's cool. No, that's cool. Slower approach this time from Liquid, just trying to catch any sort of aggression being thrown out. Keep in mind, NIP did pull that in at one point, so just slowly building through. Working through mid. Scream just kind of checking down by window, just in case anyone tried to slip the net.
This time, NIP prioritizing A. They're going to clear out sewers with that Aldrome, but Liquid, you see it's only Link really holding on to A lobby. So not going to find any information off the back of that. JD looks like he's going to try and rotate away. And timing-wise, this has been the turning point for Liquid, really, is when they do exactly this. They start leaning away from mid and C. We're going to slow creep back towards A once again. Now, a little bit of information gathered there by Akukos, but no readjustment on the side of NIP. Yampy once again lurking his way into Garage. Just looking at that off screen. Chihuahua will shut that down, so expect the hit to come through.
Okay, information sign to be received. Liquid on the approach now. Cryptic's going to be the first one forward. Flash comes in. NIP, though, splitting this in quite an interesting way, but now Akukos is in trouble. He's got his attention in the wrong direction. Scream works out long, takes down two, and now look at the sight! They just stand their ground.
Spike planted. Better luck next life.
Cosmic Divide. Yeah, I was going to say, Cosmic Divide down. Korea will find the first one on the way in, but look at Liquid. The setup is so good, even if he finds one. No counter peek from Cryptics, though. Ooh. Didn't expect the second to be tucked into Graffiti, and Liquid will close out 7-5 on the half.
Switching sides.
Whew. Decent half from both sides. I'm kind of happy. I mean, for Liquid fans, you'll be happy with the late half. I normally just almost ignore the pistol. I know I shouldn't, but it's like you put them in a separate box. For Liquid, I see those first three great, but it's more that they were able to find a way back in the rifles towards the end of it. But that run from NIP was exceedingly good as well. Like, NIP kind of impressed me. Kukos being incredibly vital to how they approached it in a couple of rounds, but side switch coming through.
Well,
5 to 7.
I was gonna say,
That's a reasonable score.
yeah, with the pistol round here, with this scoreline, you always just think there's the opportunity to reset it, right? Bring it back to a tie game, and actually, economically, then it comes into 7-7 game, and we're both back on buys, if everything goes as expected, I guess.
I have dropped the spike.
I mean, this is something me and you have talked about a lot, Lauren, is NIP on attack, these early fact-finding missions now. With a round deficit, you don't want to see them give one too many of those away.
No, you're right. Now the double up on short. Link. Just on the bait throughout the peak. Soulcast continuing to garner information. But NIP have backed away, excluding Rhyme, who's been left here. Don't know if he actually got checked on, so he might go unnoticed. So that could be quite interesting to see if he gets away with anything being here now. Could go for a lurk up, but it's going to be Scream in middle. Again, so many close potential fights, but none actually coming through.
Look at the minimap as well. Ryan has actually managed to get behind Soulcast, and there you go. That kill will come through. Just as you said, he goes unchecked, and he's able to slip past the defense. Now NIP should have a really good opportunity to set up on a site. You can see Ryan actually ready. As soon as the paranoia comes through, that paint cell goes out.
The flash!
So much damage, but it's actually Scream able to dismiss back through it and finds a kill as well.
I don't know how he's gotten away with it. Okay, Link now trying to start this one up, and look at the lurk coming in from Korea. But the timing's going to be right on this. Akukos trying to stay alive, but he can't. Overwhelmed eventually by Yampi, and there's the rest of NIP holding the line. Scream now on the corner, does at least get the pre-fire, but the flank so well timed from Korea as well. And it will be the pistol for NIP.
Big ones look to Liquid. You see, maybe just a couple of sheriffs invested in this one.
1 second, peeps. I gotta visit the Astro to play some stars.
Like Link and Scream. I'm just seeing now they've just caught up with the the words that should not be repeated from my mouth.
I don't know what word. I see. If something makes you happy, you should do it, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah. Soulcast? What you gonna do?
Oh!
No. How,
I think
did
the
he not do any
Aldrin,
damage?
the Aldrin actually just blocked that. I don't know if anything came through at all onto a Kukos.
How is he? It feels bad, but yeah, the Aldrin just maybe saved his life.
NIP now, I guess, reading into this as, yeah, there's probably a funky stack with Buckies and whatnot over towards A, but Liquid do have a contingency. They have a safety net on the other side of the map. Yampi now actually in position to greet NIP with this Bucky. Scream going to send out some shots with the... Okay, does get hard cleared. We're going to find another as well. Rhyme will close that out on C site, and it's just Soulcast now. Bucky in hand. The 1v5. Have you... No, I'm not going to do it.
Sure. I was so happy that I was listening to
It worked
Machine
perfectly.
and Sponge.
It worked perfectly.
Yeah, I'm glad that, you know, we leave a lasting impression across the board, and it eventually, when it works, that's how good it sounds. See? That's the plan, right? Have I told you the story of the 1v5 Soul Class Bucky shotgun retake? Yeah,
Last second defuse.
yeah, nah. NIP got that one wrapped up. So we are actually back on pretty much level pegging here, so no problems for NIP to stabilize. Now, buy-wise, this is going to be probably just share some bits and bobs for Liquid.
Yeah, and actually, circumstantially, what I was talking about earlier, this is probably actually a better case scenario for NIP. Yes, we can look at it and say there's 3 Spectres coming across, but, I mean, usually you'd expect a little scrappier on that previous round, maybe a couple of deaths and, you know, 1 or 2 more rifles invested into this. Looking at it. Well, no, actually, we're going to see them try and capitalize on that because they're still spread. Look for this early A lobby utility trade-off, but nothing really sent out on the side of Liquid this time around. Actually, yeah, much slower approach to this round than I was expecting, Lauren.
Maybe just trying to get the feel of it. Don't need to rush.
Oh no. Okay. No. Yampy. Yampy. Delete the VOD.
Hello, this is NIP manager here. Please delete the VOD. Yampy. It's nasty.
Without a star, obscuring vision.
Now, NIP gonna reaggress towards C. Show me what that Guardian do. Not a lot. JD outdoes him.
30 seconds
Site's
left.
looking pretty taken. Plant should be coming in. And that's the biggest issue. Chihuahua. Big old flank through middle. Look at that. No worries, Cryptics. Yeah, that's two. Okay, now the 1v2. Any guns to be had? Okay, a Spectre. Not impossible, but unlikely. A Kukos not going to let any threats come through towards his side, and NIP will take the lead.
Well, now we'll see. Obviously, Liquid back in their position to full purchase. Yampy up onto the operator light armor, but ultimate progress pretty good for 4 players of Liquid. I mean, there's 3 ultimates, 1 away. Cryptics 2 off the lockdown and Link down on 3 out of 7. See, Rhyme has the showstopper online. Are we going to see him maybe a little bit of a pace change here to make use of that? But again, NIP come out here to try and drain out some of this utility on the side of Liquid. And not really met with much, to be honest with you. And to be honest, I look towards Soulcast. If Sky's the one that has to burn a lot of utility early round, it's usually pretty detrimental, but nothing there. Link gonna get spotted out by the Owl Drone. So the paranoia just to slow down any push in case it comes. And look at the stack here. There's so many bodies over towards A, Lauren.
Rhyme just javelin throwing straight down towards Soulcast, but it's the rest of NIP as well, just swarming the site and Cryptics.
Wow.
What are you gonna do? Blinky, you miss it. That was a perfect site take.
Spike planted.
Yeah, whether or not Cryptics can do any further damage here. 4 remain for NIP. Spike planted. It's a tall order for any player. See whether or not... Actually, yeah, Chihuahua actually lurking all the way through. Actually gets stopped. Or slowed down at least. No, don't. Okay. I thought Chihuahua was actually going to fall to the turret there. Korea will fall, but 3 remain for NIP.
Out of charges.
Actually pulling ahead now. 9-7 the scoreline, and it's pretty much everything in the kitty for Liquid in that previous round. Screen straight on that Phantom. Cryptics as well, actually. So gonna be a weird buy if that's what we see come out here, and potentially, I mean, this could be one of the.
Yampy got his ult.
Yeah, I mean, they could. It's 4 ultimates online, but it would be a weird purchase to force here, and undecided across the board. I'll be honest.
That was a late purchase, wasn't it? It was that kind of like talk through of the money, what we can do. The investment of the ult does come out from Yampy. So that's the start you dream of. Okukos gone, and Scream with a banging beginning for Liquid. Yampy looking to find that timing just right on middle, but there is still that kind of later play through window. So keeping that very much track of what that position can do. Rhyme going to be tasked with one to go forward. Yampy, as soon as he went out, Chihuahua catches. That was the play towards the window we're talking about. And these side takes from NIP. These like double facing, the spacing on them, the trading is extremely effective on Cryptics.
Last player standing.
Oh, so unlucky with some of these, but that was just a miss that's going to haunt him there.
Soulcast, Guardian in hand. JD will swing behind, finds that kill, and yeah, fair point. Production just reminding us that NLP gunning for that Pepe with this map 1 win. And actually put themselves on double digits now, and looking at it, that weird purchase in the previous round. Scream does have enough to get the light armor and the Phantom back on here, and Yampy actually with the operator, but once again, I mean, down to 1,000 credits across the team. Everything invested here. So if you think one round ahead, it's pretty much Liquid looking to drag out overtime, to be honest.
A brutal, and so's that kill. Link gets timed, and unfortunate for him, but shot in the back, comfy for NIP. And look at Soulcast, the amount of pressure now just poured onto him. NIP know they've got him on the rope. Soulcast does at least find a Kukos. He's still trying to do his best. Rhymes yet to be able to break further forward. Spots out, one lit comes in. Rhyme again doubles down on this. Rhyme's having a series. We said how impactful he can be when he starts to go off. Now, Cryptix is feeling a little pressured on the site. You see Rhyme just holding for a second. Uh-oh. Okay, shut down by Chihuahua. Shut down again by Chihuahua. This round's done. Just put a fork in it. This one's done.
Spike planted.
Unless Yampy will find Chihuahua there.
No.
Just swap out. Vandal here. There's a chance, but Kriya wise to it. I think anticipating Yampy's probably going to look to upgrade.
So,
or at least swap out a weapon. Just quickly there.
Go.
I love the readjustment from Yampy because he's anticipating that lurk from Chihuahua. That's the reason we see him in that weird kind of moment where Scream's on site trying to take away that pressure. He comes back and looks through spawn. Now it's at that point, actually, as soon as he turns his back, Chihuahua's able to just slip through a link.
I just want to see a little... I mean, not in these rounds. The problem is for Liquid, their economy's been bust the entire half. But for me, I'd love to see a little bit more aggression on the defensive side. Try and get a little bit proactive. You have a Jet, you have a Reyna, you can definitely do it. And I'm seeing Yampy do it now, walking down C long. And, I mean, lean into that. If they can get quick reactions off the back, I think they have to be really quick. Because NIP, they're not really pulling many fakes. They're doing these very well-constructed all-in pieces. And Rhyme is very much the key indicator of you being there. I mean, there's those flashes, and look at that. Scream can't even get a look in.
Yeah.
So you've got to open on those fast flanks, which are actually put into play. But look, it's going to be Chihuahua, I think, trying to catch that flank all the way at the back. So you've got two very important fights about to go on. The flank catch and the sight hit. So that's kind of what you've got to split your mind between. So JD's going to be sitting back by the window. You have the ultimate investor. Yampy did find Chihuahua, so now the flank's in trouble. This has got some real importance coming in. And yes, the lockdown is in, and a Kukos is found too. So there is still potential in this.
Lockdown not going to detain anything. NIP down to 3 though. Cryptic's already going to get the hard stick through. Yampy swings round. He's going to fall. Link will find the kill. Oh.
He got off it. And Link, great supportive play and getting to halfway. I thought he was going to sit there for a second. Just got off it. But again, I want to talk about the kind of two areas where that went down. One, yes, the ultimate was fantastic. It kind of slowed everything down. It kind of made it very hard to maintain that pressure on the side itself. But Yampy getting that pick on the flank on towards Chihuahua with a scout was massive because they went for that quick map control, aggressive defensive play, right? So they pushed up on the extremities and they were quick on the flank. Chihuahua's entire job was to try and catch that, but they quickly broke through it. You saw the pressure start to mount. There was no good position to be in.
It was interesting as well because Chihuahua playing spawn that deep. Link actually uses from the shadows to go in. Chihuahua has to. Oh, hold that thought. The gravity were actually trying to drag Yampy out into the open there on long, but unable to capitalize on that. Scream now. Outside of Garage is Kriya, and actually, yeah, hard cleared there will land the headshot. Yampy playing close by with a sheriff and a judge. He wants to be pushed here. He wants NIP
here
to walk up and take close contact. Man. Yeah, it's perfect.
It's a smart play, and Link should get that. Looking through the smoke, Chihuahua's flank has now been mentally noted. Now, Yampy has been desperately trying to bait them up here, thinking, look, dude, I've only got a sheriff, don't worry about it. You can beat me, right? Like, bring the Vandal on over. There he is waiting. Now, you could still have some work on this, because I'm seeing that spike come around, so if he's patient on this, and you can see him still trying to bait it out. Got that little sheriff, he's getting a little paranoid of Garage. I've just got a little bit of info there. Flash comes in, or comes out, there's a swing, Yampy with 2! He's got a 3rd! This is big brain stuff from Yampy, the bait and the switch quite literally, as he just dominates down C long, as JD now left in a disgraceful scenario that he's going to hate, that's going to make you feel uncomfortable, but what a bit of play coming out from Yampy.
Brilliant. Absolutely, and again, I love it. It's almost like why is this guy keep challenging with a sheriff? Like, are we gonna clear him? Is there something up here? And NIP are cautious enough. It's not as if they just go, he's got a sheriff, push him. So Yampy, again, with the presence of mind to just sit there and stick to the plan, pays dividends for him. And actually, looking at it, NIP not completely broke after this, but if we look at the round score, it could get really interesting. Yampy gonna carry the Blade Storm across into this round. You hear it pop there in the background. NIP once again gonna look to trade out a little bit U2, or at least draw some out on the side of Liquid, but this time around it's a 3-man stack for Liquid. See Scream and Link poised in sewers. Back up a little bit away from that. Actually, the readjustment here, Lauren, it's Cryptix that's invested his utility onto B and Garage, so that's why we see the lean a little heavier over towards A.
Slight speed up the hit now coming in. Util invested. Too much hindrance, but it does funnel. Actually, Cryptix there perfectly waiting. Seekers go out, may have been able to at least locate one. That is going to be, I believe, Yampy waiting over there. What did Yampy have to work with? Blades, okay, but not much anymore. Chihuahua this time outdoes him. Spike now going to go down. This looks like NIP might get to 12 on this one, but the retake has potential, but now everything's been noted.
Straight 4v4, no ultimates available. Chihuahua already on the hunt. You can see him on the minimap. He's going to lurk his way back through Garage, so the quicker the better for Liquid here. They need to get this retake going. Soulcast's going to swing out now. He goes back sight, does actually land the first one as well, so...
Oh. Last player standing.
Well done. NIP managing a pretty chaotic post plant.
Match
I was kind of
point.
surprised. I thought there'd be a bit more of a trade there, but what's the money coming into this final round looking like? Because I'm seeing some lower end numbers for Liquid. I fuck the internet.
I mean, it had to
betrayed
happen
you
at least
again.
once today.
No,
didn't it?
that's true. That is true. I mean, there's a reason his little Pepe
We were
man
doing
does have
so
the
well.
Logo. I know. That is hilarious. All right, but at 12-9, the money for Liquid is rough around the edges. They've been able to fashion a purchase, but it's not going to be perfect by any means. They need a little bit of that Yampy magic.
You do indeed. Again, though, same 3 members of Liquid over towards A site and NIP once again in the early round. Want to draw out some of this utility. Soulcast actually going to fake one again. The beautiful fake. We've seen it so many times with Soulcast, but a 1-for-1 trade. Scream trying to deal with Rhyme as well. Dig him out that corner behind bricks. Looks like he will be able to escape.
Yeah, and the more we're going to see the kind of use of Sky, the more you're going to have to get used to not everyone being anti-flash. One of you is going to have to face every single time. It's just, we've seen Soulcast getting away with this. And normally it's like, you know, you will have someone sitting anti-flash just walking in literally backwards. But, you know, at this point you kind of have to now take to account because it's catching so many. And it clearly shows that he's done his due diligence. He's worked it out very well. And looking at this, the reapproach towards A long. If I'm not mistaken, it will be Scream on the other side. Chihuahua's going to clear, and it's linked towards Sewer. So at this point, I'd love to see a fact-finding mission. It looks like Yampy might be on the way. Yes, he is. Now off the back of that, Scream's going to call out. Need some help, boys. But Akukos had already crossed towards the side. That caught them off guard. The play towards Sewer might be the changing factor. He does need to leave. And he's done just that. Makes it around to the rest of the gang. But what does NIP do in a 2v3?
Average JD. Let's try the lineup there to deal with the lockdown. We'll see. It does get destroyed. JD, last man standing now. We'll find it! Oh no, they line up for him. NIP will close out.